Welcome, everybody. We're back at the closing table. I'm with my boy, Ben Hawkins. I'm Doug Yop. Ben is with Cornerstone Home Lending. Lend with Ben. I'm Doug Yop, owner of the Oceanaire Realty, and we're ready to rock and roll. Ben, I got something new for you this week. It's a new Super Bowl champion. How about your Seattle Seahawks pulling it out? First take, what do you got on it? What do you think?
Well, I sat here for 3 or 4 weeks talking about how I was anticipating Sam Darnold's imminent downfall, right? And that just didn't happen.
Uh,
He played great. I'm happy for Sam. I'm a little bit partial or biased, I guess, because I watched him in person play for the Carolina Panthers, and it was absolutely horrendous. But you know what? I'm really happy for the guy. What a great story about not
yeah.
giving up, about perseverance. I mean, I admire him a lot. And Seattle just played a great game. The offensive line for the Patriots, I'm sure you watched, Doug, they were just non-existent. I mean, they got ran over the entire game. Could not pass protect Drake May, and he didn't get rid of the ball quick enough either. But perhaps he didn't have anywhere to go with it. So, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. They were by far the best team, and they deservedly won. And congratulations to Sam Darnold. I gave him a bit of a hard time, but I'm going to own it and admit, hey, Sam, you're a Super Bowl champion, and I'm not. So well done, brother.
Well, I think we both picked the Patriots in our prediction, and so we both got it wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. I agree with you. Seattle basically dominated from kickoff to the end of the game. Tried to make it a little interesting there at the second half. It really didn't happen. And when you don't have a true rooting interest, that's the worst part of the game, I think, is when it's just not competitive, when it's over, by halftime or whatever. So that's unfortunate, but still exciting. I love seeing parity in the NFL, and when the championship, the title bounces around. So I think that was great. I love the redemption story for Darnold. Yeah, definitely wasn't all him in Carolina when things weren't going right. He's maybe not a superstar quarterback, but maybe one of those plug and play guys who don't make mistakes and you get it done, right? And at the end of the day, it is a team game, so it's cool to see a story like that come around. Who's your early pick for front runner next year?
Oh, I mean, who else? The Carolina Panthers.
Let's
You
go,
kidding?
baby.
I mean,
It's our
Doug,
time,
you've asked
right?
me a lot. Doug, you've asked me a lot of questions on this show, but that one, I mean, come on. What did you think I was going to say?
That
No,
was a softball,
I got to
brother.
go with, boom, right out of the park. Then we can take this video a year from now and comment about the 1-15 season we're about to have. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I think it's wide open, as every year you've got the draft that's important, and obviously free agency. So we'll see what kind of moves are made there. But I'm all in on my Carolina Panthers to get something big done. I think they've got a great culture around there right now and the right leadership in play. What about you, Doug? Who are you looking at right now for Super Bowl contenders for Super Bowl 61?
I think it would be a great story to see the Panthers make something happen and push a little deeper into the playoffs. I mean, it's so great to see them doing well. I don't know if I can pick them going all the way, but I'll be watching and I'll be excited about the season.
Hey, Doug, I've been wrong before, obviously, through my Sam Darnold critique. So, it wouldn't surprise me if it was again. But anyway, we'll see what
All
happens.
right, well, let's move on to your approved. Got a pretty serious topic this week. Want to just take a kind of candid approach to it. Voter ID has been a big topic, especially recently. Talked about a lot lately, but it actually was voted on in Congress this week. Just want, kind of your candid take. But before I do that, a couple of statistics. It looks like approximately 80% of Americans are supportive of this. I believe the numbers I saw were around 75% of African Americans, 83% of Latinos. I think Caucasians are around 85%. It looks like this isn't an issue that is divided along party lines. So what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, there's only one reason why anybody would complain about voter ID, especially in the format that it's been presented, which is just show your ID, like you would if you were at the store buying a case of beer or getting a medicine at the pharmacy. I mean, we have to have IDs in daily life. Everybody has an ID. So the only people that are complaining about this, I believe, are the people that are uh, worried about not being able to get people that shouldn't be voting to vote. And I think that's really where this lies. I think it's a shame we even have to have a bill requiring voter ID because, to me, it should be a foregone conclusion that I don't, it's like this, Doug. If I were to walk into a precinct in Raleigh and say I'm Doug Yop and I got to vote on your behalf, like I wouldn't have to present any ID as it stood, right? Like I could go in there and say I was you. That's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. So I think it's common sense. We need to cut down any and all opportunities for fraud and malpractice in our elections. I mean, that's something sacred. That's the only thing that holds our democracy together is being able to vote for the people we put into power. And we need to know as a country, as citizens, American citizens, that in fact our elections are fair and that they're being done appropriately. I mean, cheating in elections is absolutely unacceptable. So I think this is a proactive step forward. I don't buy into all the mess. I think it's a non-starter as far as being a dividing topic for either side to be able to say, right or wrong or indifferent. So I'm excited we're going to have it. I want to tell you a quick story and I'll wrap this up. About 5 years ago, I was going to vote in the New Hanover County Library, and I forget what election cycle it was, whether it was midterms or presidential or whatever. But before prior elections, you'd had to show your ID, which I was fine with. Well, I go and pull my ID out, and then the lady says, "Oh, we don't need that." And I said, "Do what? How do you even know it's me?" Well, I look at the signs on the wall, and it says "No ID required." So I start taking pictures of those signs to make a post on Facebook, being like, "What is up with this? Like, what's going on?" Don't you know? I almost got thrown out of the polling station. I almost got thrown out for taking pictures of those signs inside of the voting area. I'm like, okay, guys. I mean, I must have committed the worst act ever against elections by taking pictures that say you don't need an ID to vote. So, needless to say, I kind of learned a lesson there. But I'm really glad we're having it and getting it back. And I think it's common sense approach. And I'm glad.
Well, I agree with you. I really don't understand the debate. I mean, it's the most fundamental part of what we do as a republic is the right to vote, and the fact that you don't want to secure those can only say that you want a reason for them not to be secure. I mean, come on, it's black and white, it's brass tacks. What I love about it is it's overwhelmingly supported by the people, and you don't see issues that far with that much approval these days because the country is so divided on this and that and everything. I mean, people complain about anything and divide right down the middle. This isn't even close to down the middle. It's overwhelming majority, and I hope that our representatives get this right and actually do their job for once and represent the American people the right way. So I'm going to approve voter ID. I don't think they're trying to disenfranchise anybody. They're not going to charge anybody for it. Everyone has proven that you can get access to the things you need for approval. Heck, I just had to get my real ID last year because if you don't get that, you can't even get on a plane anymore. So let's stop acting like we're trying to turn the world over for something that makes common sense. So let's keep it moving. On the hunt, a little bit more fun topic to discuss. Hundreds of Pizza Hut locations have closed over the last year. I'm talking about the dine-in experiences. Now, I remember when I was a kid, Pizza Hut, going to the buffet is fantastic. It's one of my favorite things. We'll get to your Louisville Cardinals later, brother. But
I didn't say anything about that. What happened?
It's on the back.
I didn't even bring it up. Oh no! Oh, come on! I didn't mean to do that. Goodness gracious! How did that get there? How did that get there?
Don't take away from the biggest part of the conversation. We're talking about Pizza Hut, man. When's the last time you ate in a Pizza Hut?
I'm still shocked that somebody set me up and did this, Doug. Somebody wrote this on this paper and knew I was going to pick it up and hold it in front of the camera. Who would do such a thing?
It was probably Steve.
That probably was our esteemed producer with Cape Fear Productions, Mr. Steve McMillan. You did it, Steve. I know you did. Doug, about pizza, I'm a little bit distracted right now. Let me review my notes. Let's see. Okay, that's great. I had to do it. I couldn't help it. You know what? Pizza Hut, back in my day, right? Back many moons ago, we used to go there. Our football team would go there and eat the buffet and have some pizzas and stuff like that throughout the week, kind of like a team bonding experience. I miss the old school Pizza Hut. Remember, Doug, the red cups that you could refill, the red cups they had? They had the salad bar. They had the even like the tables were symbolic for the lamps that they had. overhanging lights that had like the stained glass with Pizza Hut on it. They were iconic, and Pizza Hut just isn't the same anymore. I remember too, Doug, our esteemed producer Steve McMillan used to go out of his way when Pizza Hut on 17, or excuse me, on Carolina Beach Road here in Wilmington, they still had their buffet and everything, and Steve would absolutely go to town over there on their buffet. So Steve will be able to tell you how upset he is. I just think Pizza Hut got away from what made him successful, and it was kind of a family dining establishment at that point, where you get something fast and quick and something fresh. I think they kind of lost their way with that, and we're seeing the results of it. So, Pizza Hut's been around longer than I've been on this earth, and I hope they find something to help get it together. What do you think, Doug?
A little anecdote, by the way. I was in Edinburgh, Scotland, with my daughter, and their food sucks generally. So in the UK, I'm sorry, I love them. They're nice, got great accents. Food sucks. However, there was a Pizza Hut, a dine-in Pizza Hut in Edinburgh, and it was my favorite stop when I was in there because it tasted exactly like Pizza Hut. They didn't screw up the pizza over there. And the buffet, the whole thing. And I don't know why that's not still an effective and popular and profitable layout, but maybe it's not. But it sure is in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Well, I remember going there, playing the Pac-Man tabletop game, all of that stuff. Of course, the buffet, being there with your friends and your family, the red cups. I mean, it takes you back immediately. The stained glass lights that said Pizza Hut over it, just going to the buffet. There's one not too far from us. Actually, a couple of years ago, we were like in the Wilson area. I think there's still one out that way. My son had a soccer game, and I was like, my kids wanted to get like Subway or something. And I was like, I'm going to eat at the Pizza Hut. It's right here. I want to go sit in the Pizza Hut. So now you've given me an idea for dinner. Amanda and I were talking about that earlier when we went to Costco. Maybe we hit up the Pizza Hut buffet this weekend, but bring it back. Stick to what works. I get it. Pizza Hut's all carry out now, or all of pizza is about delivery and carry out. But why can't we just go sit in the place? Let's go back to that.
I agree. Doug, let me say this too. I think we need to call Pizza Hut, and get them to be our newest sponsor. I think we've given them a lot of positive PR today. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Or Pizza the Hut. Maybe he could sponsor us. Who knows? Anyways, let's move on. But I do love some Pizza Hut. I do love some Pizza Hut. And I can tell you this, even though it's carry out only, when I go to visit my parents, if we get pizza, they get it from the Pizza Hut right up the street because it's only a mile from their house. It's much better than Papa John's, in my opinion. So
listen. I know Mama and Papa Yop know pizza. I know they got it down to a science. So
they do.
We should, amen.
All right, let's move on to lock it in. So the Hornets made it to 9 games straight. They did lose to the Detroit Pistons, who are leading the East, so not a real bad loss. It was only by a couple of points. I watched it. It was real tight all the way down to the end. Bounce back game after that. They beat the Atlanta Hawks, so they jumped them in the standings. They're now in 9th place, about 3 games under 500, so they're still looking good. They got 2 players that are now suspended for the next 3 or 4 games because they got in some fisticuffs with the Pistons. Pistons are still the bad boys, I guess.
That's right.
But what I want to know is, are you going to lock in the Hornets making the playoffs? We're looking really good for the play-in game right now, but that's not what I'm talking about. You think they can get through the play-in round and make it into the playoffs?
I certainly do at this point. I mean, they're playing really, really well together collectively as a team. I think they're young. They're going to keep maturing and growing. And I think they're taking some amazing steps into making that happen. I mean, mind you, they run a 9-game win streak when Detroit beat them. And that was a very tightly contested game. I mean, it wasn't a cakewalk for Detroit by any stretch of the imagination. And Detroit is the premier team in the East. They are. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference right now, no doubt. So for me to see Charlotte be competitive in that game, to show the grit and determination that they have over the course of the last 10, 11 games, what have you. I mean, it's incredible. Con Knipple, and I think I saw a stat yesterday. He's like 20, I'm going to say 25. That's an incorrect number, but it's very close to that. He's only like 20 some odd buckets, 3-point buckets away from setting the single season rookie 3-point record. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. So there's a lot of great things going. They've made some good trades, good acquisitions. I will tell you, too, Isaiah Stewart, who came off the bench for the Pistons, who wasn't even in the game at that time, came out. He's basically banned for life in the NBA.
How wild was that?
For a while. Oh, dude.
I'm not in the game, but I want to be involved, huh?
This guy has been in nothing but trouble for the last 2 or 3 years in the form of physical altercations, whether it be getting ejected because of rough play, technical fouls because of it, getting into fights and altercations. So I'm glad to see that the Hornets stood up for themselves and said, we're not going to go down without a big fight. And I don't condone them battling on the basketball court with fisticuffs. I think that's unnecessary and stupid and a bad example for kids. But at the same time, I mean, if Detroit wants to hand it out, they need to be able to. They want to dish it out. They need to be able to take it. So I love what I'm seeing out of Buzz City right now. It's got me excited for the Hornets. Again, anything North Carolina related in sports, seeing our teams be successful, I think that's awesome. So I'm all in for Buzz City. Let's go.
I love it. Did you see they were also talking about voting to expand the NBA by 2 teams? So that'll be interesting. Maybe a future topic as more stuff comes out about that. But hopefully,
Doug, I think they were mentioning Seattle and where was the other place? Do you remember? Seattle and perhaps Las Vegas, I think is what it was.
probably
Is what I read.
I mean, Vegas seems like a target for everybody now, and I think they'll give Seattle the first right of refusal since they lost the team to the Thunder. So we'll see what happens. It'll definitely be interesting, and hopefully in a month or so we'll be talking about coordinating to get down to Charlotte for a playoff game.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Remember last
All right,
time,
let's keep moving.
Doug, remember last time we went to Charlotte for a game, we saw him play Utah back when Donovan Mitchell was still there. And if you recall,
That's right.
I took my Louisville Dons in there. I took shoes in there to get signed, right? Because Donovan Mitchell is a Louisville guy or whatever. But that night, the Hornets beat him, if you recall.
Yeah,
And
I
a
do.
bit of a surprise. They were down by 15 or 20 and came back and ended up winning the game. So we had a great time that night. I think we were sitting like a row behind Donovan Mitchell's dad, as a matter of fact, if you recall.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
That was a fun experience. I had a good time.
it sure was. All right, let's move on to due diligence. The whole world, at least America, is doing their due diligence on this Nancy Guthrie case right now. It is dominating every single news cycle. It's been going on for almost 2 weeks now. What's your take on this? I mean, this is just crazy.
I don't know. The thing that got me, and again, you can do your independent research, but it was really strange that Savannah Guthrie, when she was reading a letter off to the people that had been holding her ransom or whatnot, I guess, or whoever she's reading this to, it made a line or said a line that came directly out of Silence of the Lambs. The mother of the kidnapped woman that Wild Bill guy had in the well, she said, "My daughter is very kind and very nice and kind. Talk to her, you'll see." Well, Savannah Guthrie said the same thing, and I'm like, this is really weird. Like the whole thing too is like, okay, they got that video off of the Nest recording to provide what this guy looks like with his mask on and such. Where's the rest of it? There's got to be more, right? Like you got to think that they're going way back to see if it. In my opinion, it had to be somebody familiar with her, familiar with the house, familiar with the settings. I just don't see any other way around it. But what a weird story, man. I hope the lady is found safe and whole. I know as time goes on in these cases, though, that typically doesn't happen. So I just think it's really weird. I think, and again, I'm not coming up with a conspiracy thing about the Silence of the Lambs line. You can go back and watch the video and compare your own notes and be your own judge. But I just found it really weird. I was like, why is that necessary? Unless the person holding her for ransom said, hey, I want you to mention this during any communications you have to let me know that you're in agreement with something. Maybe it was some innuendo. I don't know, but it's really, really weird.
Wow. Yeah, that's I hadn't heard that part. That's really interesting take.
Check it
I
out.
agree with you. It seems like, a huge percentage of things like this, there's always a family member or an acquaintance or somebody involved, which is really, really sad. I think there's got to be some familiarity, right? That's associated with it. I think one of the strangest things was, I heard earlier today that they got that footage not even from the camera, like they went in whatever the connection to the ring thing is and had to dig it out. And apparently the way they accessed it was like an unprecedented thing. So, I mean, that also gives you another look at maybe even beyond this topic, what those things are capable of, that everybody,
Right.
that they're so, they're everywhere. right now. So it opens up so many discussions that you can have. At the end of the day, I think after this much time, I don't think anyone is legitimately optimistic. It's really sad. And I just hope we get the best resolution possible and soon
Same
at
here.
this point. The longer it plays out, the worse it's going to get. So, all right,
Agreed.
let's move on to fix this. Major League Baseball spring training is getting started. It's time for the boys of summer and to bring them back. But I got a huge gripe with baseball. There's no parity, and it's all about salaries. And I'm tired of watching the Dodgers win the World Series. It's just disgusting. And it looks like there's a chance after this season there's going to be a strike and a good chance that we don't even have a season in 2027. I hate it. I grew up playing baseball. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a baseball player. It was all consuming for me. I didn't really play any other sports. It's all I wanted to do. Collected all the cards. Still got some starting lineups here in my office of some of my favorite players. It's always been, my favorite sport to follow throughout a season, especially into the postseason. What are we going to do? What can we do to fix Major League Baseball? And I think everybody agrees that parity is better than not having parity. So what do we do?
But perhaps salary caps, like they have in the NFL. I don't know if that would help. Perhaps they already have something like that in place. I don't know. You're more the MLB expert than I am. I'm more of a football, basketball kind of guy. I watch baseball, but typically when there's nothing else on TV or if the playoffs are on, I watch playoff baseball all day. I like baseball.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to sit through 160 games, a 160 game season, and really for me to stay active and interested. But I know you're a big Braves fan, so kudos to you. Why don't you enlighten me on what you think they could do to fix that stuff and make it more fun?
They have a luxury tax, but I mean, if you just pay the luxury tax, then how does that affect, the salary cap? So I think that the league, obviously players want to get paid, right? And I want them to get paid too. I think that's fair. We live in a capitalist society. If these owners are making all this money, then the players should get their fair share. Because on the opposite end of the spectrum is you've got all these owners, these these smaller market owners that are getting support from the league and from other teams, and they just sit on the cash and don't field competitive teams and don't pay players. And that's the other side of the coin that is a big issue. So both of them need to be corrected, and it needs to be pulled toward the middle a little bit more, and just with a common sense approach. That's what the mediators are for. But I'll tell you, it took several years, the whole steroid era and the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire home run chase, to bring baseball back to the forefront after the strike in 1993, I believe it was. I don't think anybody wants to go through a whole 5 or 6 year period like that where baseball is not getting the attention that it deserves. And, baseball is probably as popular now as it's ever been. And I hope that they can take the steps to avoid a shutdown in 2027, because that would just be terrible.
Right. I agree.
All right, let's keep moving. Counteroffer. I know you've been waiting for this topic. Yeah, put your paper down, or I'm going to put it somewhere else. All right. So our boys matched up on Monday, and I think it's fair to say it wasn't even a matchup. It wasn't even a matchup. My boys didn't even get off the bus. You couldn't believe that the spread was so small. You didn't see this coming. I don't think anybody saw a huge blowout coming. But wow,
oh yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay. I got the text. I still got the text.
I know. You got the receipts on that one.
So, but what I want you to tell me is, what's your takeaway from it? Louisville hasn't played since then. I don't believe they don't play until this weekend. Neither does State until tomorrow. What's your takeaway from that? Where does Louisville go with that the rest of the season?
I mean, honestly, it was a great win just because of how hot NC State has been. I honestly thought NC State could beat us even at home. I really did. We had two players score 76 points. You had Mikael Brown Jr. set the ACC record for points by a freshman with 45 points. He set the Louisville freshman scoring record, and he tied Wes Unseld with 45 points as the all-time highest scoring game. He tied Wes Unseld. So we had Ryan Conwell. He got 31 or 32 points. I mean, it was just Oh, it was 31 points. It was insane. So when we look at the totality of it, a couple of our guys had a really, really hot night. You guys just didn't have an answer for it, couldn't hit buckets, didn't play with the same type of, I think, organized chaos, if you will, that NC State plays with. They typically do a good job on the defensive end, and they can score. And to credit Louisville, they just took them out of it. I personally still think that the Louisville Cardinals are in dire straits right now. I really do. I really do. I think we're a team that will only get as far as our matchups will allow us in the tournament. You give us a team that's big, can make buckets down low, dominate the glass, we're in big trouble for not hitting threes. Make a long story short, if Louisville Cardinals aren't making three-point baskets, we're not going to win. Period. That's just all there is to it. So we had the stars aligned for Louisville that evening. I will say this. While I am holding up this paper and have been throughout the show, I was very nice to you at your office the other day, Doug. I did not go in. I didn't wear – this was the day after, folks, just to keep it into context. I did not wear a Louisville Cardinals hoodie. I didn't wear a Louisville Cardinals hat. I was very, very pleasant. Today was my opportunity to kind of dig the dagger and just a little bit.
Didn't miss it, folks.
Just a little bit, just a little, because you know what fun would it be if we didn't trade jabs? Now, I will tell you this: I think if your coach makes it through this season, which I believe he will, then I think he's going to keep receipts on that. And Pat Kelsey better hope he laces those boys' shoes up every time they play NC State from here on out, because he can't be a happy camper with the way that went down. So. You know, I like to poke fun at you, but at the same time, I'll take it right on the chin when it comes back around, and it always does.
Well, I think if I'm a Louisville fan, my takeaway is, holy cow, this is what we're capable of. And if we play to what we're capable of, we can play with anybody in the country, right? It's just about, like most teams, it's that consistency. You know, State, I don't think this is an excuse. It's just reality. They had a home game. They had one day off, and then they had a road game. That's always tough no matter where you are. It's always tough to play in the ACC on the road regardless. In a way, I'm really not surprised about the loss. I'm surprised about the ultimate beatdown ass whipping. And I think most people are. I think you always try to look at what's your positive takeaway. We were on a 6-game win streak. You know, things happen to your brain and your ego with things like that. And hopefully it was a get-right game for us. It's like, hey, boys, look, just because you did something last week or 2 weeks ago, it doesn't carry on, because we've got Miami, then Carolina, and then Virginia, and then Duke. And, you know, the back half of our schedule is loaded. So I'm like, all right, boys, I hope you learned something from it. The good part of it is, well, you know, Carolina turned around and beat Duke, but then they lost to Miami. So we're still solidly in 4th place in the conference. If we can beat Miami tomorrow, we can move into 3rd on our own. And if Duke beats Clemson, we can either take or move up for a share of, I think, 3rd or 2nd. So it really just depends. I mean, we're still in the mix as far as the pecking order. I think what State needs to be playing for right now is that double bye in the ACC tournament. So learn something from it. Let's see if we can get right at home tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping for. But since we're talking about hoops a little bit, tell us what's going on with the Seahawks down there in the Dub.
Man, let's go. They had a big game last night against Elon, rivalry game, conference game. Beat them pretty soundly. They played really well. The Seahawks, when they're, like you just talked about with Louisville, when they're clicking on all cylinders, they're tough to beat. I fully expect them to win the CAA regular season, and I would be absolutely shocked if they didn't win the CAA tournament in March, setting them up for a bid to the NCAA tournament. I love what we're doing. We're coached hard. When we play hard, we're very tough to beat. I will say this too. I look around at other, and let's be honest, UNCW is a mid-major, right? It's not a blowout school with 20,000 seat arenas, stuff like that. But I will tell you that the community of Wilmington has, and the alumni there, the staff, the kids that go to school there currently, man, they rally behind this basketball team. That Trask Arena Trask Coliseum is packed every single game, sold out pretty much. I mean, it's nuts, and it's a great, safe family environment to bring your kids. Luke runs around and plays with his buddies. Last night somehow they convinced the staff there to give them some Reese's cups, some sodas, Skittles, $12 vouchers for concessions. I'm like, Luke, what is going on? You need to introduce me to your people, because that's the people I need to get to know. I'm like, what the heck, Luke? And I don't know how they do it, but these kids, man, I guess they smile at them and are pleasant, and the people are very generous. But make a long story short, it's just a great environment. I highly recommend, getting behind UNCW basketball. It's a great product, a great establishment, university. And I'm just very, very happy to be living here we're blessed, man. Think about it. If Louisville was having a poor season, I wouldn't have anything else to root for, right? Nothing. But I got my UNCW Seahawks, so I split time with my Louisville Cardinals and UNCW Seahawks. And it's nice to have a good winning team locally. That's a lot of fun to go watch. So really proud of those guys that are in first place in the CAA right now. And like I said, just keep on rocking. They got a healthy lead in conference play, so regular season title should be theirs. And let's see them rock it out in the CAA and get an NCAA bid. If they get the right matchups in the NCAA tournament too, Doug, they're going to be very, very difficult to deal with. I'm telling you. It's all about matchups, right? That's right. Make some noise.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah, I hope that they can finish strong and handle business and win their tournament and get into, because I always love seeing the Seahawks getting the dance and having the chance to run and do something. So I'm excited about that too. All right, let's move on to our next topic, getting local. Ben, where's somewhere in North Carolina that's been on your bucket list but you never made it to?
Oh, goodness. I've been everywhere around here. It's crazy.
I hear you.
I'm just saying, it's hard for me to say bucket list, because I don't wait to put it in that bucket, right? I just go ahead and go do it when I can.
You just go.
I just go. I'm like, hey, I want to go do that. Let's go. I think lately, maybe a trip to the mountains would be kind of cool for a couple days. Just to experience nature, that peace and quiet and harmony. But honestly, I'm chomping at the bit for boat season. So if we talk about a destination where I'd like to go, I just like to go in my own backyard and get on the boat and go out to the island and anchor out. You know what I mean? I'm super excited about that trip, in the coming months. So that's kind of where I'm at. How about you guys?
Well, the cool thing is you don't have to go very far to go somewhere amazing in North Carolina. One of the great things about living here, I feel kind of like I've been everywhere too. I have lived here my entire life except for about 11 months. One place I've never really been out on, though, is Lake Norman. I think that would be really cool to maybe go check that out and just spend a day on the lake. I get out on the boat with you at the coast when you invite me, or just being down at the beach. But I've never had a whole lot of experience with those lake things. There are a couple lakes here in Raleigh, but I don't have a boat, and we just have never done something like that. So I think maybe that would be cool. Maybe the Hornets can take us on their celebratory boat cruise on Lake Norman after they win their first playoff series. We'll see. We'll see about that.
Yeah, Lake Norman's beautiful. Lake Norman's a beautiful spot. So our USTA tennis, I play a lot of competitive tennis, and our leagues, depending upon if you win the spring league, there's spring, summer, fall leagues, all that kind of thing. But if you win the spring league, typically the state tournament is held at Lake Norman. They have a lot of tennis facilities there, believe it or not, some really nice ones. So we all, 13 of us, rented a big house on Lake Norman and absolutely loved it. My buddy, I'll tell a quick story. My buddy, John Balcom, he owns Balcom Auto here locally. The first night he was there, somehow on the dock, he dropped his phone in the water. So he had no phone for the duration of our state tournament venture. But man, they had a good time losing that phone, I'll tell you. But Lake Norman's beautiful. It's serene, very peaceful. And, boating on a lake, you can get up in the middle of the lake, drop your anchor, and just relax all day, get out, swim, chill. And guess what, Doug? There's no sharks in the lake. There's no sharks. There's nothing that's going to eat you in said water. So, that kind of makes it cool too, I guess. But no, Lake Norman, I highly recommend it if you get a chance to go, Doug. You should definitely do it.
Nice. It's definitely on my list. I appreciate the recommendation. All right, let's keep it moving. We're almost to home base. Let's hit our final walkthrough. Ben, we talked about this a couple of months ago when another one of these AI trends popped up on social media last week. I saw you partook in it. You got your little cartoon graphic. Oh, don't lie. I saw it. I saw it. So tell me, what's your take on this, man? Is this a huge psyop to do something? Is it just messing with people's heads? Why do these keep happening? And what do you think? Just tell me.
I did it because I had a feeling that it was going to put me in a very positive light. And it made me about 100 pounds thinner. It made me a handsome devil. I was all the stuff in that Chat GPT animation. I loved it. I was like, look at this guy, man. If I could switch me out, if I could have Steve cut me out of this thing and put my Chat GPT avatar in there and have it talking, I would do it. No, I'm not really. But anyway, I thought it was kind of fun. I saw everybody else doing it. I was like, well, let me add. I love tennis and I love doing mortgage lending. So go ahead and combine that. It did a really cool thing, a cool job of it. Normally, I can't stand those types of activities. I'm like, why is everybody doing this? But you know what? I was part of the herd. I was one of the sheep that said, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I thought it was fun. I don't know. I also think it's kind of weird. It's almost like Skynet. We're feeding this humongous database, everything we know about everything in the universe. And who's to say that AI isn't going to be a whole lot smarter than all of us? And where's the kill switch? So I'm still in some Terminator, Skynet stuff with it, But in the meantime, before it starts blasting bombs at us, I'm gonna have a little bit of fun and create some caricatures.
Well, just make sure you always say thank you, and it'll remember you when the Great War with the AI starts. They'll treat you like one of the good guys.
Hey, as long as I ask it the score of this game, and it knows. Oh wait a minute!
That's
I lost
the
my
wrong
paper.
piece of paper.
No. Wait a minute. See, now somebody hid it from me.
Yeah, blew it. It must have been.
No, and I got it back. Look, as long as AI remembers the score of this game, I love it.
All right, I'll be sure to print out. I'll be sure to print out the standings for the next show next week. Okay, we'll do that.
Hey, listen. After this show, folks that are watching, after this show, Doug has decided he doesn't want to do the show anymore. He's had it with me.
You can't get me off of this show, brother. All right, we got one more step to take. Let's move it on to closing time. What are you looking forward to over the next week? I'll lead off. College baseball starting. The Wolfpack is in Puerto Rico. They play this weekend to kick off the season. I'm really excited about seeing the Pack get back out there. Looks like they're going to be strong again this year. Hopefully they can make it back to Omaha. Maybe we can actually win some ACC hardware this year. So I'm excited about that. They've also done some great, they did a whole new clubhouse and indoor hitting facility at NC State Stadium here in Raleigh. So I'm sure the team is excited to get in there and start using that, and just really excitement all the way around the program. So I look forward to getting out to Doak later this season. What are you looking forward to?
So Luke has a basketball game, my 8-year-old. He's got a basketball game Saturday at 2. I'm really pumped up about that. I love going to watch his games. And then UNCW has a game Saturday at 4, a couple hours after Luke's game, or an hour after Luke's game's over, really. So we're going to go to one game to the other, but they're playing Hofstra at home, in a big game for us there at Trask Coliseum on Saturday. So, it's pretty full with sports for us. Sunday, going to get over to church, ask the good Lord to keep us safe and help me provide for our family. And thank him for the amazing gifts and amazing people that I'm so blessed to be able to work with, like you, Steve, and a lot of other wonderful folks out there. So for me, it's going to be a nice family weekend. Luke and I getting into his stuff and keeping him entertained and happy. Little did people don't realize this about me, Doug. Yes, I've been a loan officer for 20 years. Yes, I'm a dad, right? But I'm also an entertainment director. Okay, I am the entertainment director for a very particular 8-year-old. And I have to coordinate fun events for he and his friends and the whole shebang. So, my role as entertainment director will definitely be put into practice this weekend, if you will. So, how about
I'm sure you'll knock it out of the park.
Besides the sports, what country are you traveling to this weekend? That's what I want to know.
Well, I wanted to mention for everybody. So, folks, we're not going to be here next week. We're going to be off next week. Our actual team trip, or our annual team trip, is to Cancun next week. I'll be leaving Wednesday. So, Ben, we won't be able to take next week. You're going to have to take a week off for free
Oh,
from me. But hey, I'll send you some pictures with my fruity drink, frozen drink from the beachside, and then we'll have a lot more to talk about the next week.
well, this is news to me, and it's completely unacceptable. Let's go back to your approved. I do not approve.
Do
How
not
about that?
approve. Sorry. But yeah,
Declined.
we're looking. It's a great event that I do with our top producers every year, and really looking forward to doing it again. This is our 5th year of doing it, and really excited to get back. But I digress. This has been the closing table, Ben. Brother, we've wrapped up. The docs are signed. The deed is filed. It's closing time. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I asked you to consider or just go ahead and do it. Like, subscribe, share. Hey, comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. There's no subject that's off limits for us because we love to have a conversation and we'd love to get your take on what you'd like for us to talk about. Until next time, Ben, this has been the closing table. I'll see you, brother.
Take care, guys.